Welcome to season 3 of You Are Significant, the podcast where real stories are told by real people that create more awareness of your own significance. You were created on purpose for a purpose with seeds of greatness inside of you. Ready to grow? Let's get down to it. He who hath friends must show himself friendly. And this is true whether you are a guy or a gal. We all, if we want to have friends, we need to be friendly. And this is from Proverbs 18:24. It isn't just something cute that I made up. This is something that God said. And so when God said it, it is true, right? And we can count on it. I was asked to bring a veggie tray to a baby shower that I co hosted recently. And I got there, I was running a little bit late. All the hostesses were asked to be there at 1 o'clock. The shower was going to start at 2. It was from 2 to 4. It was for two ladies who are having babies. Such a beautiful, fun event. These two ladies are sister in laws. And so I got there with my veggies. I had worked and worked at home. I had all these beautiful veggies cut up, radishes, carrots, baby carrots, washed and cleaned, and then I also had cucumbers that I had gotten those really long. I think they're called English cucumbers, and cut them at a slant. So they were cut on the slant. And some of them I had left the skin on, and some of them I had striped. So I had taken a vegetable peeler and peel a whole peel off and then turn it a little, leaving a little bit of green, and then peel off the next bit. And they were cut on the slant as well. And I had baby tomatoes and all three color peppers that I cut up into long strips. So orange, yellow, and red. And so I got there with all my veggies cut up in individual Ziploc bags. I knew that she had a tray. I was going to arrange them on a charcuterie board that I have that's 15 by 15 wood. And she was like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I have a platter here." The woman who's having it at her home, she has so many beautiful pieces to serve on. So if you just want to bring your veggies, then you can arrange them here. So I was like, perfect. I'm excited. She said, "I think your arrangement," because I had sent her a picture of my mock up. And she said, "Oh, I think that your arrangement is going to be beautiful on this platter." So I get there. Well, before I got there, I was pulling out of the driveway and my car started going, grr, and it didn't want to turn to the side, the left or the right. And I was like, "Oh my goodness." We had just had the power steering worked on, a new pump put in, and I was like, "Oh, something must be wrong." So I don't know what it is, but something is not right. So I pulled back in. I had everything loaded. It was super hot that day. Everything was in a cooler bag with ice. I was dressed. I had on a white dress. So I thought, I'm just going to wear this white eyelet lace dress that's just about knee length, A-line skirt, such a cute dress. And oh my goodness, it was hot. I had my pearls on, and this car is making this noise. So I pull back in. I'm trying not to sweat my makeup off. And I told my husband the car is making a weird sound. And so he said, "That's okay. I'll take you," because they had to travel for a couple of hours. He needed the other car to go somewhere. And so he took me. Our plan became he'll take me, drop me off. I've got to be there 2 to 3 hours at least, maybe 4, by the time you add the 2 hours plus an hour on the front and an hour on the back to clean up. So it'll all work out. So he took me. So I was there, and by the time I got there, it was 1:30. So I was like, it's okay. I know exactly what I'm doing. Everything's washed, cut up in individual bags. I don't have to sort anything. I can easily put this together on this tray quickly and it'll be fine. So I come in the house. I said hi. The ladies were all just kind of standing around, sitting around, talking. There was 18 co-hosts. They were expecting 80 people to come to the shower. Again, it's a double shower. They're expecting between 80 and 90 people. I think 88 invitations have went out. So there was 18 co-hostesses that went in on the gifts for them together. Um, and so it sounded like a lot, but when you looked at what we were doing, it really wasn't too much. So I walk over to the bar of the house, and then there's my platter. I can see it. I put my cooler bag on the bar stool, and a couple of ladies are standing to my right, and they're just quietly talking. And then this lady goes, "What time is it?" And she looks at her watch. And she's like, "Oh, 1:30." And my feelings were hurt because I made up in my mind that this was her judging me for being late. And I looked over at her and I smiled, and she goes, "Oh." And so that just confirmed it for me. And it took me back like instantly to this deep root of the second grade girls on the playground that didn't want to play with me. That is one of the things that I discovered in my first inventory that I did for recovery. That was an old wound that I needed to deal with. I needed to process it out with the 5 questions, which is in another episode here in You Are Significant. But basically, who did it? What did they do? How did I feel all the way back in second grade? Write down all those feelings. And then what is the damage now? Your feelings now, today. How does it affect you socially? And then what is my part? And so, of course, my part as a second grader on the playground was not guilty. I did not do anything to them. But in a split second, it just took me back to that old wound of being judged, not being wanted, not being enough, not being the right fit for some reason. I made up things in my mind as to why way back then. I grew up very conservatively. My parents were almost like Amish, the way that their values were. I did not wear pants or shorts. I only wore skirts or culottes or dresses. And so I was different. And as I've met different women over time, I've met lots of women whose parents were conservative like that, who grew up the same way. And maybe their family didn't even have a TV. We didn't have a TV right like out in the living room until I was 10. My mom was sick and had a surgery, and that was the first time we got a TV. And it was a small color TV so she could watch some TV as she recovered. But up until that time we didn't even have a TV in the house. So I grew up very conservative, and I just felt like way back then that was why other girls didn't really like me that much. I was different. And so, of course, over time, even that day, I can remember way back second grade, Darlene on the playground played by herself. She had joy. She still had fun. Didn't really understand why those girls wouldn't play with her. Her feelings were hurt, and yet she still found joy at the same time. And so I just stood there at that veggie tray smiling and enjoying arranging the veggies, but also feeling some hurt and feeling those thoughts trying to come in of, you've messed up again, you're late, even though you were ready way early, you had plenty of time, you knew what to do. You should have started cutting everything up even earlier. You should have started washing and bagging everything even earlier. You're just, you messed up, and then the car didn't work, and exactly right. So those thoughts were trying to come in and weigh on me. And, also the comment that was made, what time is it? It's 1:30. And so that all was just starting to like flood into my mind. And I did not feel tears. I did not feel angry. I just felt it. I just was almost like an observer. It wasn't completely like I was out of body. I was still in my body. I was still present. I was just aware of these are all the things happening all at one time. And yet I knew I was prepared. There was plenty of time. I was going to be able to arrange these veggies beautifully and quickly, and it was going to be okay. It really was going to be okay. And so I kept breathing, and there was like an awkward silence for a while. And then another hostess said, I just love the way you did your cucumbers. Those are so pretty. And that just sort of was such a relief. I'm so thankful for her, and I know her heart. She has a beautiful heart, and she's always doing things to make people feel better and take the strain away and the awkwardness away and make them feel welcome. This same hostess has been a great friend in my life in other moments that were really hard. And so when she said that, I was just like, thank you, Lord. Thank you for a sweet, kind friend that is helping me to feel better in the moment and less judged and less of the I'm not enough, I did it wrong. And so I arranged those veggies, and the tray turned out beautiful. If I can post a picture of how it turned out in the show notes, I will, so that you can have a look at it and how it turned out. But I just thought of three things that are so important from that day. It's been a while since it happened. And the first thing was be friendly. Don't like, I did have the thought even that day, I was like, she didn't offer to help. She was just standing there off to the side, kind of arms crossed, like whispering to the other girl and not doing anything to be a help, not saying anything, not doing anything, just standing there. And so be friendly. Like, there's so many things I've thought of that I want to do. If I see someone struggling like I was that day, like, hey, I'm so glad that you're here. So glad that you're hosting with us because I'm new. I've only been going and doing things with this group of ladies for about a year and a half. I'm still new. That is very new in the South. Let's just say, because generations is a big deal here. And I'm brand new. 18 months is super new. So I just thought, she could have said, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're hosting with us. I'm so glad you made it. Are you okay? Did anything happen? Not in a judgmental, critical, like I'm scooping you for info to judge you more way, but hey, are you okay? We as humans, we can detect compassion, right? We know when someone is being compassionate or when someone is scooping us for more reason to judge. And so that was something I thought of was like, she didn't offer to help. She wasn't like, hey, do you want me to help you? Like, I can hand you these veggies one at a time. Do you know what you need first out of here? Or anything, right? Nope. And so that to me was confirmation that she was being judgmental. And it wasn't about compassion. It wasn't about what can I do to help. It was what, like, she's late. Whatever happens, it's on her. And it just really also led me to think of the next thing, and that's be loving. Be loving. If someone's struggling, don't just stand there and be judgmental, which is, that is a fear based emotion. That is not a love based emotion. So be loving. What would you want done if it was you? And of course, she can say, "No, I don't need any help, thank you," or "No, I don't even know how to ask you to help me because I have this certain picture in my mind and I don't know where everything is in this bag." This bag is a mess. It's all in here though. And that's probably what I would have said if she had asked, but I would have felt like she cared instead of so judged. Even if I felt judged at first, I would have been like, you know what? It's okay. I forgive her. And she just didn't know what else to say, right? And that's the third thing is be full of grace. Realize that you don't know what happened. She never asked me anything about, hey, are you okay? You look like you're hot. Did something happen? Be full of grace. Take time to ask people, how are you? Even just come alongside, even without offering to help, maybe because you want to give them space to do what they wanted to do. Maybe just come alongside and say, hey, how are you? How is your day going? Hand her a glass of ice water, if she looks hot. Be full of grace. So I tried to let it go and not think about it anymore. But what she said, I felt judged. I felt not enough. I felt outcast. I felt humiliated, all from just that one line. What time is it? 1:30. And I also already in myself felt, like I'm late. I wish I wasn't late. I don't want to be late. We're doing something special for somebody else and we want it to be beautiful. And so, when you're in this kind of situation and these kind of feelings are coming up, I just eventually, after a couple of days of still thinking, and even I was in church on Sunday morning and I did shed some tears because when this was not just a person that was saying this was my sister in Christ. She was someone who, because she loves Jesus, why was she treating me that way? Why wasn't she acting like Jesus in this situation? And I just finally had the thought, I forgive. I forgive her. I forgive myself. And as soon as I shifted into forgiveness, real, true, heartfelt forgiveness, and just took a big, deep breath and truly released it and gave it to God and said, I forgive her. I forgive her. I know she was doing the best she could with where she's coming from. Maybe she was judged. Maybe she's used to being treated that way. Hurting people hurt people. Well, judged people judge people. It may just be all that she knows. Maybe she thinks she was doing me a favor. Like, if I say this, maybe next time she'll be more on time. Maybe punctuality has been taught to her as like an ultimate sign of respect and responsibility. And I do think it's important. At the same time, I think compassion is very important and showing that we think highly of someone and giving them the benefit of the doubt. And so when I shifted into forgiveness for her and for myself, I was released. I was free. That was the moment when I began to be free, and the remembering what happened and it replaying in my mind began to stop. It began to fade. I actually couldn't remember it all. I journaled for this episode so that I could bring it back to mind to share some lessons and some encouragement with you. That's the beauty of forgiveness. Forgiveness doesn't change whatever is between her and God. It doesn't mean how she treated me was right. It doesn't mean I'm giving my approval. It simply means I release it off of myself. I forgive her, myself, and now it's truly between her and God, and I'm moving on. I'm not wallowing in it. I'm also not stacking that on myself as like, well, here's one more thing where I messed up that proves I should not volunteer to be a helper at an event. I shouldn't host an event. I just mess up. No, because Satan wants to steal all of the things good that I may do in the future. He wants to steal all the power out of me, all the good um, talents. I'm trying to think of the word talents. He wants to steal all of my talents away and make me be smaller and smaller and smaller so that my light doesn't shine. I'm not being the salt of the earth. I'm not able to show grace because I'm being so small. I'm not risking anything. And remember, the man in the parable of the talents who didn't risk anything, was he praised or condemned? He was condemned, and his one talent was taken away and given to the one with the most. When we risk our pride, risk doing it wrong, risk not being enough, we actually are increasing. We are growing our talents, we're growing our influence, and more important, maybe most important, is we're growing the kingdom. We are glorifying God in what we do and how we do it. And so I'm so glad that I just breathed in the moment and I just simply looked at her. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything back. I wasn't harsh. I just kept breathing and I just kept giving her the benefit of the doubt and knowing I was actually right where God wanted me to be. And you know what? If I hadn't gone through that situation, I wouldn't have learned anything. I wouldn't have grown in my faith. I wouldn't have grown to have one more real life experience that I can share with you today to hopefully encourage you when you go through something. When we go through something hard, thank you for tuning in to You Are Significant. I hope that this episode helped you to embrace your own God given purpose. Please share this out with a friend and remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, walk in faith, find the joy, and stand in your own significance. We're going to get a chance to pay it forward for the glory of God and to help someone else. So I love you. Until next time, friend, continue to know you are significant. You and your influence, your one right next thing that you do matters, and your kindness is needed.